Son of a glitch.
Super Mario Land 2. This Game Boy classic is easily one of the most memorable handheld platformers, and surprisingly, it's still a lot of fun. But with that fun comes a ton of interesting and game-breaking glitches, something we've come to expect from the earliest of Mario games. So let's kick things off with a simple glitch known as the level completion glitch. When you first begin the game, you'll see this file select screen with a new game showing 00, indicating that no stages have been completed. For this glitch, all you need to do is complete the level by ringing the bell, which will send you into a crane game bonus stage. Here, all we need to do is win, which is easy when you just mash the A button as soon as the game begins, and you'll always win the magic carrot. Then you'll get the power up, and when Mario starts to leave the screen, quickly reset the game. Now start the game back up again, and then you'll see the title screen, which then goes on to the file select screen. The first thing to note is that the levels complete is now set to 1, meaning everything you did counted as that level being complete. Except when you start that file up, you'll see that we can play the first stage of the game again, something that's not possible once it's finished usually. But we can take this further if we complete the stage a few more times, like maybe 20, and we're still able to play the first stage. The game is also saving coins we've collected, enemies we've squashed, and how many lives we currently have. Now, anybody who's played this game all the way through will know that there are only 31 stages in the game altogether, but doing this glitch 32 times will now show 32 on the file select screen. Or maybe 40? How about 50? Naturally, I wanted to see what would happen if we did this glitch 100 times, because that's the kind of curious guy I am. So let's play a little game. Pause the episode here, and in the comments, write what you think will happen when I do this glitch 100 times. Will it say 100 on the file select, or will it simply revert back to 00? And yes, I did do this 100 times, and yes, I realize I'm wasting my life. Okay, so those of you who thought it would go back to 00, give yourselves a pat on the back. And those of you who thought it would say 100, I feel your disappointment. I was kinda hoping it would be all glitchy, but nah. Let's move on before we dwell on it anymore, and check out a glitch which also takes place in the first stage of the game. What we need to do is grab a Koopa shell and take it all the way to the end of the stage as Small Mario. Still holding it, jump at the bell and then release the B button when Mario is just about to enter the goal. This will kill Mario, but he'll end the stage, and now you'll be playing the crane game. Next, we need to make sure we win a magic carrot, as this will help us glitch the game. Despite technically finishing the first stage, we'll now be able to play it again, most likely because the game also counts that death by Koopa shell. However, this time we'll have the bunny ears, even though a magic carrot power-up doesn't appear in this stage. And here's where they come in handy, as what we're going to do is jump over the bell, and the ears will help us reach a ledge we wouldn't normally be able to reach. If you jump now, the screen will go beyond its usual restrictions, and then you'll need to hold down on the D-pad to realign it. But you can also jump and glide down slowly to really mess up the screen. Mario will now end up just under the goal, but the ground is no longer solid, meaning you can go right through it to reach other parts of the stage. You'll even make some sprite tiles disappear once you reach this underground room. Man, stage 1 and we've already broken the game so much. I bet you're wondering what else is broken. Well, here's a funny glitch in the first stage of Tree Zone. These frog enemies will always go towards Mario if he's close enough. And knowing this, we can get them to come down into this area, and here's where things get glitchy. If they hop around long enough, eventually they'll land in the small tunnels and try to hop some more. Naturally, this isn't enough space for these frogs, and well, you okay there, Froggy? You seem a bit, whatever you'd call this. Tell you what, you're probably pretty embarrassed, so I'll just, leave. Let's head to the Overworld map now, and here, pressing and holding B lets you scroll over the entire map so we can see things. But this opens itself up to a mildly amusing glitch that occurs when we go to see this giant turtle and enter the turtle zone. Hey, there's a whale inside this thing. How big must this turtle be? Anyway, once here, leave and go back to the Overworld map and press and hold B to begin scrolling. Now go to any part of the map and then press the A button and you'll enter the turtle from that point, which looks kinda strange depending on where you do this. Listen, I'm gonna level with you. I tried to make it look like Mario was entering the turtle's butt, and this was the best I could do. Don't judge, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Like most games, if you leave the game sitting idle on the title screen, you'll see a demo of the game playing until you press something. Now I know what you're thinking, how did you segue into this from Turtle Butts? I didn't. On the title screen, if you press certain button combinations, you'll be able to play those demos. So for instance, pressing up and select together will take you to the first stage demo, up A and select together will take you to the hippo stage, up B and select is the first stage of the turtle zone, and finally, up A, B and select is the first stage of the macro zone. The game records your button inputs now instead of the pre-recorded inputs. Once these input slots are completely filled, the game freezes. But if you manage to beat one of these stages within the set amount of button inputs, the game will save your progression over the first file slot, so that's pretty cool. But bear in mind, this demo glitch only works in version 1.0 of the game. Don't you just love it in Mario games where you can slide through walls? Isn't it the best? Well, Super Mario Land 2 is no exception, and you can do this in a number of ways. Firstly, in Pumpkin Zone Stage 2, after the room with the booze, you'll go through this pipe to end up in this room full of blocks. Here, simply spin jump on this block in the first row and then enter the pipe to the left. Now Mario will go for a slide through the walls, all the way back to the pipe that led to the water section below. Or in the boss stage of Macro Zone, you'll find this set of 4 blocks. Duck down in this corner and the camera will begin moving left for some reason, and now if you press right, Mario will yet again slide through the wall, but only until you reach the other side. Another variant of this glitch can be found in the third Tree Zone stage, but it requires a tiny bit of setup. Firstly, we'll need to go through the pipe and find one of these bee enemies, which we need to lure down to the beginning of the stage. You'll need to make sure it doesn't despawn by going down the pipe, then going back up it again, and then down once more. Then just keep jumping at the bottom of the pipe to make sure the bee keeps following you. Once you finally get the bee over to where you began this stage, you now need to get it high enough so that when you jump on it, you'll make it up to where these logs are. You can now jump towards the top of the screen and beyond it, to the point where Mario will now slide across the screen. Hey guys, don't mind me, just sliding along here. And then suddenly you'll be dropped into nothingness below. Well, actually, that's not true. What's down here is something known as Glitch World, and we'll become more familiar with this as we go through this episode, and things will get pretty crazy. For now, here's a small glitch that kills enemies in a new and exciting way. Well, kinda. With an enemy nearby, if you shoot fireballs off to one side of the screen and then turn around and head in the opposite direction, sometimes you'll be able to kill that enemy with the fireball. The screens in Super Mario Land 2 wrap horizontally and vertically, meaning fireballs are still in effect on the opposite side of the screen in a way that kills enemies. It's a simple glitch that actually isn't exclusive to this game, but really it only causes this one outcome, so it's not very interesting. However, what happens beyond the borders of the screen can be used in another way. This next glitch is called the enemy slot glitch, and it works like so. Find an enemy in a stage that throws projectiles like the rock-throwing ants, ball-shooting pigs, or fire-spitting piranha plants, and then just have it sit off screen for about a minute. What happens is they create so many sprites off screen that all the enemy slots are taken up, and once Mario moves towards them, those become active once on screen. This creates a huge amount of lag to the point where normal movement becomes pretty strange, like Mario remains in the air for an extended period of time. If anything, this makes the game unplayable until all the enemy sprites despawn, and then things return to normal. Well, normal for this game. Okay, let's check out probably one of the most game-breaking glitches in Super Mario Land 2, known simply as the pipe glitch. However, it only works on version 1.0 of the game. It's also incredibly easy to pull off. All that's required is you finish a stage first and then re-enter that stage and go down a pipe. Whilst Mario is going through the pipe, press start and then select to go back out to the zone map. Now when you enter a stage, and that can be any stage, Mario will fall through the ground the second it begins. Depending on the stage you enter, you might sometimes fall onto a copy of that stage, but it doesn't have any enemies roaming around or power-ups hidden in blocks. It's basically just a blank stage. However, sometimes you'll fall way down below the stage to once again see Glitch World, which we saw earlier in the episode. This random collection of sprites is actually the game's RAM or memory, and this is just the top layer. By moving down through it, you'll encounter parts that can be written to. For instance, touching certain blocks can trigger things or crash the game completely. There are blocks that can give you a ton of coins in a split second, and some blocks will just hurt Mario. Ultimately, this is just a big glitchy mess, but if you can manage to make it to a certain section of Glitch World in stage 1 of Pumpkin Zone, you can actually trigger the end credits. This is done by pressing start and then select after you destroy this block and then re-enter the stage. This triggers the game ending by corrupting the memory and putting the credits value in the next level level address. This value is never actually written to, but altering it messes with the game physics so much that it'll load the next stable address, which is the credits. So even though Glitch World is a mess, you can at least finish the game. The pipe glitch can also be pulled off using a Koopa shell, and if Mario enters a pipe on the same frame he loses a life, you can get the same falling through the floor effect. And unlike the normal pipe glitch, this works on both version 1.0 and 1.1. If you do this in the first stage of the game, you can finish it in an unusual way, which is always fun. Other things you can do with the pipe glitch involve using the ability to fall through the floor to reach an unused room that's otherwise inaccessible. Using Bunny Mario, you can get to this unused room in Tree Zone 1 by repeatedly mashing the jump button until you reach about here and then just fall to land inside the wall. The game will take care of the rest and you'll end up in a small room filled with water, and it has a few pipes coming down from the ceiling. You can exit this room using the last pipe to the right, but they never created a finished pipe exit, so Mario just kind of appears back in the stage. Before we move on to my favorite broken glitch of Super Mario Land 2, let's check out something called the pause glitch. By pausing the game during lag, you can get it to reset itself or just crash entirely. The pause glitch can also be coupled with other glitches like the enemy slot glitch, and pausing repeatedly during the lag here can alter the game's memory to end up with things like this. In a test run, the pause glitch can be used to alter memory so much we get a credits warp in the first stage, so I think you'll agree it's pretty broken, and all you had to do was pause the game a lot. You just gotta love Game Boy games and their glitchiness. And finally, we'll be checking out a glitch that starts small but gets crazier as it goes, and this glitch is known as the bubble glitch. To the west of the Overworld map is the Hippo stage, and in this stage you'll find this hippo that blows out bubbles which you can jump in. If you've already beaten the stage, jump towards the bubble, and on the same frame you touch it, press start and then select to return to the Overworld map. If done correctly, enter any stage you want and you'll see that you're able to take the bubble, which is usually restricted to the Hippo stage, into any other stage. Now obviously, the sprites for the bubble aren't loaded into any other stage's memory, so the game does its best to fill in the blanks, resulting in this glitch-looking bubble. Now, things look pretty normal besides that, but we can really mess with the game if we head to Wario's castle. By making our way through the stage, past all the spike balls of death and floating over the piranha plant statues, we then need to turn around and head back towards the beginning of the stage. This means when the piranha plants shoot out more fireballs, they remain on screen and ultimately cause a lot of lag due to the sprite count on screen, which is very similar to the enemy slot glitch. At a specific point, if you shoot out more fireballs as Fireflower Mario, you can completely screw up the game's physics, and this will happen. Mario will be able to float upwards, and you can now warp to the final boss fight with Wario much earlier than expected. But there are other results we can get with this. By floating up slightly higher and getting into the corner of the wall as the screen moves up, the Wario fight will become a complete sprite nightmare. Oh hey, Mario, and Mario, and Mario. It's even possible to keep the glitch going through all three stages of the boss fight too. Other things that can happen with the glitch are having the screen fall out of alignment and then you're able to enter a slightly more janky version of the stage, or another result is that the screen can just wrap horizontally as Mario is stuck in limbo. I'm not sure about you, but the longer I look at this, the more nauseous I become. Make it stop. Make it stop. But there you have it guys, some weird and wonderful glitches you can try out in Super Mario Land 2. A huge thanks to everyone on screen, especially Mug. You can check out more of his videos on Super Mario Land 2 glitches, there's some really crazy stuff on his channel. And as always, much thanks to Patreon supporters who really help the show. If you feel like helping too, remember even $1 is an amazing contribution, so thanks guys. And if you like this episode, hit that like button, share it with everyone you know and love, but most importantly, please subscribe if you want to see more from the series. And if you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any new episodes. Head over to the Facebook page for the show. I post updates and sneak peeks to upcoming episodes and keep you guys in the know about all things Son of a Glitch. Or you can follow me on Twitter and keep updated that way, you know, if you want to.